We're going to talk a little bit about organic skin and organ, 3D printed body parts.
Furry orange eyebrows that look like Carrot Top coming at you. You didn't defer the brisket.
For those of you playing the Geek Missile home game, please mark yourself down for one more point because we do have that tonight.
The organic peanuts.
A T-Rex with fur? Welcome back with another edition of the Geek Missile podcast. My name is Randy Howell. Adam Derringer on the mic, ready to rock it. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Here to cap off the weekend to a very busy weekend, and happy to see our folks again, or at least imagine that I can see them.
Yes. Everyone that's downloaded our podcast, we thank you.
You guys really are what brings us in every Sunday.
Every Sunday.
This is our church.
This is our church. This is it. We have a great show tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about organic skin and organ, 3D printed body parts.
It really is. And everything that entails.
Which has really got me thinking, I wonder. We got
to what length should we go?
Exactly. We got the new Game of Thrones tonight for all you kids that are keeping score at home. The new season 8 starts tonight, and I'm excited for it.
For those playing the home game, yeah.
For those of you playing the Geek Missile home game, please mark yourself down for one more point because we do have that tonight. A new orca? WT... H or F.
What's going on?
Yeah.
No, it's...
A new orca whale was found or discovered or something. We are going to do another hero versus hero episode today. We got, we'll wait till we get to it, but we're doing a female edition.
Ladies' night!
Ladies' night
at the Apollo.
I was going to say something else, but you got it. Ladies' night tonight. And let's talk a little bit about a black hole. What do you say?
I am ready to see that event horizon.
Beautiful. Let's start the show.
It's time for the Geek Missile Podcast, broadcasting from somewhere in the Pacific Northwest. Now, here are your hosts, Randy and Adam.
Outstanding, very, very professional intro. Cost me over $35 for that, just so you know.
We're the best team in the business, man.
Woo!
And let me tell you, I am a gas tank that is filled with NOS. No gasoline left, just the nitros that I'm running on here. I am skin covering coffee today.
Wow. Skin covering coffee. Let's think before we talk. Never mind, I'm playing with you. Okay, buddy. So what did you tell me? You were saying something earlier today. I know we went over, what's in the show, but a T-Rex with fur?
Yeah, so, and this is and for me, this is just, I've sat up just staring pensively into different bowls of water, toilets, cups, everything. Because I can't imagine watching Jurassic Park and seeing the T-Rex. Not only did they challenge the fact that it would have apparently furry orange eyebrows and like fur all over its back, so it looks kind of like a furry lizard, but also that apparently the roar that we're all
right
is apparently just a low rumble at best. And I was like, that almost makes them scarier. Like if a T-Rex could just silently just pad up on you and just nom you up and walk by,
and he's just a low
yeah,
I don't know,
like
something.
Last thing you saw was furry orange eyebrows that looked like Carrot Top coming at you. Oh, Jesus.
So did they say how they came up with this?
So essentially they've been studying, because I mean they've had so many samples over the years of different T-Rexes, but I guess this one they actually were finding remnants of like fur and things like that that was actually stuck within the
dirt or ice or something,
exactly. Or that was within the rock, unless it was like eating orange orangutans on its face before it died.
That's
it's pretty
weird.
Yeah, no, it's so they've surmised that they had like this orange fur, and I was just like, I can't imagine, because there's no lizard right now that has any hair or fur. I can't even begin.
Not one that I
together.
can think of. No. So
crocodile's testicles maybe, but no, probably not even them.
Croc nuts are a little furry today. Gotcha. So, well, maybe they could benefit from the. Have you talked to, or have you read about the debate? Should we bring back the woolly mammoth?
My thing is, if we can bring back a species that's been gone, I think that's cool. And I understand there's some people like, are we playing God, things like that. And I guess a little bit, but we've already, considering the science I am a benefactor of us being God anyways.
Sure.
Because I was born with my lungs completely fused together, couldn't breathe at all. And they basically threw a waiver at my mother. Were like, hey, sign this so we can try some medicine on him. And they got my lungs to unfuse and I could breathe again.
That was good.
I was like, if I was born out in the wild, as you know, if we were intended that way to not use science, then I'd be dead.
Right.
This podcast would be, well, less one person down.
Yeah. I had diverticulitis, and the results of not getting surgery would have, I'd have a bag attached.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, having that surgery done, had I not done it and kept putting it off like I was doing, thinking it's just a stomach ache, man up, you'll be fine. But it's, it was more than that. But yeah, I would definitely have a different, kind of lifestyle now if I didn't have that. So, I mean, yeah, I like the idea of bringing a woolly mammoth back. My wife and I were talking about it, and I think, what would be wrong with that?
I think creating life and bringing back species that we've caused to perish, because we've caused, our humanity has caused a lot of things to go extinct. If we can bring those back, I think if anything, I think more acting like God is like when we've had wars that have wiped out entire populations of people, animals, things like that. I think that's the scary part of when people talk about, oh, you're acting like God. But I think bringing things back to life or bringing life into the world is great.
But I think if we wiped out something for a food, that would be the food chain, I would think.
I mean, woolly mammoth burger. I mean, this is an option. I mean, that's kind of...
Woolly mammoth brisket.
Right. Oh, so it's... I mean, yes, bring them back, but of course... would you have to pick fur out of your... would that be like the new thing? Is you're like, you didn't de-fur the brisket.
No, because the fur's on the outside, the brisket's on the inside, so...
Just a really shitty chef didn't do it right.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I think if it was butchered correctly, you would be fine. No fur in it. I mean,
don't pigs have some, or boars?
You don't get fur or feathers in your chicken that you eat, do you?
Touché.
Yeah.
Just,
I think it'd be fine. But I think it would be cool to have a woolly mammoth walking around. Not like in the streets, but in a zoo or some refuge.
I mean, we did the same thing, not the same exact thing, but like in the similar vein of thinking, we got tigers back to being not cold and completely gone. Like they're on the rise again because we took time to bring them back. Why not have a woolly mammoth farm?
I think that'd be great. Or ranch or whatever.
Do you think elephants would get fur envy if they saw woolly mammoths walking around? Like they just...
Well, they'd probably look at them and go, who the hell brought these hippie elephants in here? What the hell is this? So, but
the organic peanuts.
Fucking hippies. So organic, or not organic, but that was because of you, but skin grafts, 3D skin grafts?
Yeah, so they're working on this technology because 3D printing is doing amazing things right now. And the things I'm excited about the most are medical, like anything from, I've heard about like they're working on making veins, but recently they've made it so that now they're attempting and being successful at recreating people's skin and so that they can graft it onto, like if somebody has a horrific burn, they can spray this basically skin replacement onto it while it heals, and it's safer than grafting because you don't have to like suture it onto the skin again.
Isn't that cool?
Oh, it's amazing!
I love that. That's Star Wars level medical stuff, man.
Oh, we are a couple of months, I would say, away from being able to chop your kid's hand off and give him a robot hand. I'm just saying, if you're going to have a dispute with your kid,
whack the hand off and then don't worry about it. We'll get you a new one.
Yeah, you get a cool cybernetic one. If you guys are going to have those kind of disputes, now is the time.
But if you get a 3D printer and you whack their hand off, it's like, well, it's going to take you 3 weeks to get a new one. So it's printing.
just you're grounded from using your left hand for 3 weeks.
Jeez, dude, that went dark.
It did. Star Wars.
If you were in a bizarre gardening accident and you lost your hand, then it'd be like, oh man, can you fire up the printer? I gotta chop my hand off.
Gotta bring my hand back.
Yeah, I like the idea, man. I think it's cool. And then again, I think people are saying, are you playing God by replacing these things? I guess technically this person born this way should have perished, but we've made these great advances so that they won't perish, like having the medicine for lungs to separate and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of I like the idea of it. And, if And what if we could end up living forever and ever, or not maybe forever and ever, but what if 150 was a good age?
Yeah, and then
But you just weren't a lump of flesh. You were still active. You could still do things. That would be great.
It would be great to have more what I call livable years, or more enjoyable years, I guess is the way, because people are like 98 and still they're still living regardless, but wouldn't it be great to feel like you were in your 40s but yet 120 something or whatever?
Right. Yeah, I know when I was selling cars, I used to tell people that brought in, traded in their car that had a lot of miles. I used to say, hey, it didn't have a lot of drivable miles on it. So livable years. I get what you're saying.
Exactly. And that's the natural.
What's a drivable mile, though? That's the question. What is a drivable mile?
I was going to say, it was like, if it hurts every time you do anything, this is not a good drivable mile. That's... And in that vein, I think the only issue I see with it is space allotment. So if we found a way to extend our space further, so that we weren't so, because they're just like, we're running out of room on land. I'm like, but what if we move to the sea? Everyone wants to get off the planet, but we still got this whole 2/3 of the earth that we are not touching.
Right. Well,
throwing garbage in.
I'd like to live by the sea, but not on it.
Not in the sea so much.
Right.
It's the one thing that's kept me back from wanting to go on a cruise. Like, I really do want to go on a cruise, but God, if that boat sinks, I'm going to freak out. Everyone would, but I'm
I don't think they sink though.
No, I think they're pretty good.
When was the last time something like that sank?
Last thing I could think of, Titanic, and of course, I've always thought paddle boats are questionable.
Well, yeah, those are very dangerous.
Wrong partner, you both just flip sideways and have to swim out of the boat.
You put 1,800 people on a paddle boat, pal, you're just asking for trouble. And then you add the element of booze, forget it. It's over.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine I can't get 6 people to cooperate. I can't imagine. How did they get those that's the drummers. That's why they had drummers on slave ships way back in the Vikings days, just so they can keep beat. I can't imagine 1,800 paddle boaters.
Drunk paddle boaters.
Just fucking, who's cycling wrong? We're turning sideways.
What if it's a Jenny Craig cruise? Take that down to 6 people. I'm just kidding. Oh, good Lord, dude. Speaking of overweight, I'm
over this weight for the new Game of Thrones.
Did we not talk about that?
No, we never. We haven't gotten it. We got the medical stuff got me so engrossed I completely forgot about it. But yeah, I found out, and I actually forgot. For some reason, I thought it was Easter, and I was like, oh, they're going to do it on Easter. I was like, no, it's tonight.
It's an Easter. Yeah, it's not an Easter episode. It's a pre-Easter episode. Well, okay. So the way we have our board listed, I thought we had already spoken about that, but we had not. So that is my bad. Let's talk about it.
So for me, I'm just going to say my favorite person is Tyrion. I've always loved him because I like sarcastic people, which is why we all get along so well.
Right, exactly.
And he's just so I'm like, everyone's like, oh no, who's going to die? And me, I got money on Sansa. That's who I think. I think the most dramatic thing they could do is take her out at the end of the episode.
That would be dramatic, but I don't think she's going to perish. I don't think it's her. I think tonight, you know what? I don't think anyone dies tonight.
You think it's going to be a clean episode? What we call a clean episode, like a clean...
Is that you in the biz?
Exactly.
What we in the biz call a clean episode, folks. No, I think because it's the first of the last season, right?
Yeah.
I think they got some building to do. So I think everyone's safe tonight. I don't think we're going to lose anybody. We might lose the crew member, the unnamed crew member. He might get killed somehow. You know what I mean?
Oh, there we go. I feel like this is like a...
Hey, there's a noise in the wood. Go check it out. And he doesn't come back. That guy dies. But I don't think any of our main characters do.
Can you go give the dragons a bath? Oh, boy.
Here, hold this steak and walk over there. Feed it to him. It'll be good.
Don't worry. They haven't gotten any fingers recently.
So, yeah, I think we're pretty safe as far as that. But when we talked about it earlier, I was thinking... Yeah, you're right. Who's going to die? And then I just thunk about it, which is past tense for think. And I don't think anyone's going to die tonight. That's my guess. But you think
I'm waiting for a bomb drop. I feel like they want to I feel like they want to since this is the last season, they want to start it off with just a huge dramatic whoa, what's going on next? I feel like
I do too. I think that's going to happen too. But I think
there's so much things in motion. I guess I could see them just being these things could all potentially I could see a bunch of harrowing situations, but no confirmed death maybe. So that everyone's waiting for the second episode. So I could see that too.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a bit before people start dropping. But that's my guess. So we'll see how it works tonight, and then on our next episode after this or whenever, we will.
You're gonna have me.
Well, we're gonna have to put on a. Because we will talk about it.
You're going to have me watching this with headphones by myself while my girlfriend's asleep tonight. Just roll over and watch Game of Thrones while she's asleep next to me.
It's the best way to do it, man. That way, no yapping.
Oh my God. Who's that? Why are they fighting each other?
Why is he so angry?
Everyone's angry in this show.
Yeah, if you lived in a place like that, you'd be pissed too with zombies. What are they called?
The White Walkers.
White Walkers. That would drive me nuts. I'd move.
It turns out two of my shows that I've recently been interested in have both had walkers. The Walking Dead and also the White Walkers from Game of Thrones. So it's
because cars weren't invented, dude.
They're walking everywhere.
Yeah. So that's my prediction. I'm laying down my money on that. Nobody dies tonight. You think Sansa?
I'm locking Sansa. I think she's going to go. I think she's going down.
We should put a Twitter poll up maybe for this episode, but by the time it airs, it won't worry. It won't matter.
Who did you think was going to die? And they're like,
Yeah, I think that probably won't work well for us. But
no, I mean, I'd love to have had a Twitter post ready to go, but I think good just that we're recording the answers in the moment.
I think so too. As long as we've got the moments, we're golden.
No one can ever say, "Oh, you guys watched it and then made predictions." I'm like, no. We're locking these in now. I can willing to be wrong.
Well, we'll find out tonight. But I am excited to see it because I love the show. My wife didn't like it in the beginning. You know, all this nudity and stuff like that. She didn't like it. She thought it was unnecessary. And I agree. Who cares? Was
it the nudity?
She didn't like it. I
was going to say
does she really have to have her boobs out while they're doing this? That kind of thing.
It doesn't hurt. Is my response.
Sure, it adds texture to it, I think, but that's why she didn't like it. And then she kind of got into it. I think her friends liked it, and so they started talking about it, and she got interested, and so we now enjoy the show together. If we see some boobs, we'll just fast forward through it. So I think that's a fine compromise.
I was going to say mine was that my former wife partner, we watched through, God, it was probably 5 or 6 seasons, and she was like, "This is too violent." I'm like, "How did you make it this far? This whole show is just violence on itself the whole time."
It is a very violent show, but
I mean, it's violence with mostly has reason. There's a drive behind it. It's not just, usually.
Right. No, it's good. It's a good show. I like the story. I like everything about it. So let's talk about our new orca.
Yes. So
you were telling me that thing's longer now? It's a big old floppy orca, or what do you got?
It's more elongated. Its eyes are more narrow, which is weird, but it's got narrow white patches. It's apparently they found it just swimming around in the sub-Antarctic, it's deep in the coldest parts of the oceans, just creeping around. We just found it. And I'm like, God, it's so weird that even this much technology we have, we're still finding things underwater that we don't know about.
Did they catch it and?
I've seen a picture of it, and I've seen. So I don't think they've captured one, but they have. There has been photos of it now, so it kind of looks like a less beefy orca, streamlined orca. Fin day.
Fin day?
Yeah, instead of leg day, they did it fin day.
Oh, I like that. Well, that's cool. I mean, we should look that up and get some pictures of it. I think that would be kind of neat.
Yeah, put some links in the description with the pictures of the D orca.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah, they call it the D orca.
Nice.
A through C don't matter. It's all about the D.
It's all about the D now, right?
Orca.
That works well. Well, we do have to stop for a quick commercial break. So we want to ask our listeners, when they get a chance, please visit our sponsors, bestsuspenders.com and Pizza Pipeline. These kids out there, they're supporting the show, and we appreciate that. And we need their support, and we need you to support us and them Just if you're hungry, order a pizza from the pipeline. If your pants are saggy, get some Best Suspenders. But we'll be right back.
Hey, Mac, how you doing today?
Not too bad, Guy. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. What are you up to?
Well, I'm getting ready to order me a pair of Best Suspenders from BestSuspenders.com.
We got us a .com in the 20s?
You know it. They've been around for years.
Well, what do they got on there?
Well, I'll tell you, they got formal and they got casual. And if you're a hard-working fella, they even got suspenders for that, too. All made in the United States.
Well, I tell you, if they're good enough for President Hoover, they're good enough for me.
Well, he's got a pair, don't you know?
Well, they're not going to give me a pair right now.
Well, let's do it. BestSuspenders.com. Support you can trust, you know.
Thank you, Mac.
Very professional, folks. That was a great commercial for our folks. Our sponsor, BestSuspenders.com. Support those guys.
Because they'll support you.
They will support you. That is for sure.
And I wanted to swing back around because we were talking about these Type D orcas, and I wanted to give a little bit more of a broad scoop here. Apparently, the first time they'd been encountered in the 1950s, they were assumed to just be kind of like anorexic orcas or some kind of genetic mutation. They didn't assume it was actually a species, but now they've actually found enough of them and confirmed that these are their own little subset of orcas. They got rounder heads and smaller eye patches, which I don't know if that actually affects them physically aside from just their kind of cool look to it, but yeah, they're off the coast of New Zealand. They're just down there, but they're so rare to find because they basically chill really deep down in the water that we don't see them.
That is interesting. I wonder if they're being moved from their natural, where they were.
Yeah,
and now they're in a different area.
That was my thing. Is I figure if they hang out in the cold, in the deep waters, maybe it's getting too warm and they're just moving somewhere else.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Like if my house suddenly was like 90 degrees, I'd be like, "That's it. We got to leave. If we can't fix this, I'm out of here."
I'd buy an air conditioner, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
The orcas just haven't mastered that the fine machinery yet.
Maybe all the ice is melting, and they're like, "Oh, it's so hot. We got to move.
Drinks.
We got to do something else." What a bummer. Well, that's cool. So we'll keep an eye on that, and if we have more stuff coming up, we'll talk about it. Should we do our hero versus hero edition?
I am ready.
We need some music for it. Some kind of dun 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 something. But so that was our music for this episode. For that, I will search around and see what I can find.
Heroic music. Only one of us can play an instrument, and I'm not going to say who, but it's not me.
All right, well, let's do this then. Let's do with what we've got. We'll just do a big announcement, and then we'll add some applause to it, and it'll sound like we are professional.
The best in the business.
Dun 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 dun. It's Captain Marvel versus Wonder Woman. Yay! So, again, in Geek Missile fashion, who would win in a fight between Captain Marvel and Wonder Woman?
Just going in and leaning in on it for me, I want to give it to Wonder Woman just because she's so fast. She's so fast. She's
fast. She's been a warrior for how long?
Oh, God. It was like, they don't age.
Hundreds of years?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hundreds of years just not aging. Which
I would even say maybe 1,000 years. I don't know.
That's all our dreams, by the way, is to just not age.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
that would be sweet, too.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And then she's got those cool, I always forget, like armlets, or bracers, I guess you would call them.
I'd call them bracelets.
Yeah, bracelets. She has those, people. I'm like, so if you shoot something out of, she should be able to ching, hopefully.
Right. Now, this isn't the Linda Carter Wonder Woman. This is the modern day Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
right.
I forgot her name, but she's very pretty, and she pulled it off really well. People were skeptical, but I think that was actually the best DC movie I've seen in a minute.
Is it?
I think so, yeah. If you haven't seen Wonder Woman, it's really...
Oh, I've seen Wonder Woman. I thought you were talking about Captain Marvel.
Oh, Captain Marvel. That's pretty good, too. I
slipped out of the conversation for a second.
I apologize. No, I saw Captain Marvel, and it was really good, too. I guess... Energy Blast, we'll say that. I don't want to, without putting too much out there to spoil anything, but yeah, she's more like, but strong too. But I think I'm like her stuff is really, the bracelets she has that Wonder Woman wears just look really tough. Like, but people are always shooting like old rifles at it. Every time I see it, it's always
well. The old Wonder Woman could deflect bullets with it. She would fist her, throw her fists around her wrists, and it would deflect bullets as somebody was shooting at her. I remember that as a child watching that TV show, and that was with Linda Carter.
And that's my curiosity now, is wondering if if we say they're if they were heat resistant bracers, I think she's got this hands down, because those lasers that get shot out, if she just goes ting, I'm good. But if they heat up, I think that would be like, oh god, and just like super bad burns on the wrists.
And so and with Captain Marvel, I'll be honest, I haven't seen it yet, so I have a hard time placing my wager on who I think would win. But Captain Marvel from when I was a kid versus Wonder Woman, if they're using the same type of powers and stuff like that, I would go with Wonder Woman. I think she might take her. I was
going to ask, what's the difference between the Captain Marvel and the Captain Marvel that's now presented? Because I didn't.
The Captain Marvel from yesterday, when I was just but a lad, was a dude.
Oh
yeah.
Oh man, that's okay. I mean, they're starting to bend everything now. Like I'm always expecting
it's Spider-Man. A gender equality move, but I don't know what. I remember it being a dude, but then the backstory now to this new one, she's an alien. I don't know. Like I said, I have to be ignorant because I don't know.
Well, let's step it back then. Let's say that just for the sake of, let's assign the powers that you remember from yesteryear to this Captain Marvel we have now. And there's probably some crossover that we can... Do you remember what he could do?
Yeah. So here's what's coming up is bong resin and malted hops seem to be clogging that part of my memory. So, you know what? I'm just gonna say I thought it was gonna be a good matchup, but my memory's not. So, would you say I'm unprepared for this podcast? I would say yeah. I would agree with you on that.
But you know what? We can always revisit it, because I have no doubt that you'll go and see the movie eventually, or see it when it hits Blu-ray. When we can, or you can get it for $1.50 at the not sponsor all mentioned, because they don't pay us yet.
Well, the $1.50 maybe, probably the $5.99 on demand.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Why not?
I would probably rent it that way.
They didn't take a trip out of the store, which, by the way, technology and everything that we've talked about today, for me, basically favorite technology is now I can order any food I want from anywhere to be driven to me.
Isn't that great?
Oh my god.
Most laziest society in the world.
It kills my wallet, but god, I love being able to just get food that I want without having to go drive to find it.
Yep, I'd love it. Oh, it's only $6.99 and I could have this and blah, 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 and go pick it up.
It's like having your own personal lioness bring you food.
It is wonderful, but yay, laziness. You know what it does? It's not lazy. I'm so busy. It just frees up all this time for me. I am a very busy man.
It's the same reason I always tell people I want to work from home. It's like you save me 2.5 hours a day of getting ready and driving. That's...
Right. I work from home sometimes, and I love it.
I was going to say, that's a lot of hours to get back.
In fact, all of next week I'm working from home.
That's amazing. I was going to say, once we get our Geek Missile fully launched, I hope we can work from home every day.
Well, see, now for the Geek Missile thing, I would prefer to have to drive to my high-rise studio.
But if it's a nice, comfortable studio,
Yes, it would be much like... I envision it living the life of a Roman emperor.
Oh, evil villain sharing some grapes.
I have a microphone that's just as I lay down in my chair and someone's feeding me grapes, and then there's a microphone there, and I've got people fanning me, and that would be me. Yes.
Charles, cut the cheese.
Somebody, I need something else now. I don't know what. Bring me my wine.
I actually, I know it's terrible, but I actually love reading, actors and actresses, things they specifically request for the set. I found out, I can't remember which actor it was, but he had, a thing for, apples and peanut butter, and if they weren't on set, he was just, start flipping stuff.
Uh-oh.
I love those requests. I wouldn't want to work for the people who needed these requests, but man, hearing about them afterwards, the ridiculous things they want.
And then after that experience, having this lavish podcast environment, get into my 07 Dodge Caliber and drive home.
to dinner that's not quite being fed the same way.
No, it's something that you would pick up if you want to on your way home, or have someone just meet you at the door, I guess. Well, that would be good. But that's our thing. So as you hear this, as it's aired, please go to the geekmissile.com website. You will see a poll on there. Who do you think would win? And probably a why. Why do you think they would win? That's more important. But
opinions are great. Reasons are better.
There you go. They're better.
Because then we could swing back and go, oh, well, it turns out maybe Captain Marvel, well, she can blow up a planet if she wants to. We're like, well, that does end things pretty quickly with Wonder Woman, doesn't it? I mean, it's a lot of collateral damage, but, if you really want to win, sometimes, what do you do?
Well, what do you fight for? Do you fight to win or lose?
See, exactly.
Blow it up. But, wait for us to air the podcast before you do that.
Darth Vader wouldn't hesitate. Just blow up a planet.
Yeah, well, that's his thing, though.
It's like, don't stand on the planet he wants to blow up. That's the general rule.
That's pretty much it, yeah. Once the Death Star has you in its sights, you're done. You can't...
You better be on his station.
Have you seen the new trailer for 9?
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Speaking of Star Wars.
Yeah, I can't even, so they've all been getting so much progressively, each time they're getting better. I like that it looks like they're making a new, almost cast to go forward.
Right.
This, even beyond this 9th movie, I'm hoping they close out the Skywalker arc, so to speak. Although it's called, Rise of Sky, so I'm kind of wait, does he have, 16 children we don't know about? There's, a bunch of Skywalkers we don't know.
I don't know. I was watching it last night, and I was like, oh, man, I'm ready to go.
Goosebumps.
I want to see it.
I don't see movies as soon as they release often, but I have to say I have a regret for not seeing Avengers Endgame, not pre-ordering tickets already, and Star Wars will be a regret if I don't see that one soon too, because people were driving around with spoilers I won't name just in case on the back of their car here in Spokane, and
really,
my friend ran into one and just flipped out, sent a text to everybody. It was like, I just saw a spoiler for the movie. It was on somebody got a bumper sticker with it on their car.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's some motivated trolls out there.
Wow. That's, yeah. I'm excited about that movie. I think it would be a good one. I'm excited.
I've always, ever since I was a tot, my parents showed me those movies, and one of those movies I would repeat all the time. I just love those. Yeah. And of course, try to do it too. Anytime I can't reach anything, I always hope that some latent force powers will awaken in me so I can suck a coffee cup across the room to me.
And I tell you what, that would put a whole new spin on a Star Wars marathon, wouldn't it?
Oh, just suddenly discovering that you have... Oh, that would be
just
great.
No, just sitting down and just clearing a day and getting cozy and just watching them all.
I would love that.
Would you start with 4 or would you start with...
I would actually start with 1, and I know that's not...
Yeah.
But, I want to start from the very beginning and watch it, even if it's even if a lot of people...
The sequence.
Yeah, the sequence is important to me because I want to get everything backstoried and...
No, I agree. I think that would be cool.
Although it's funny to watch the technology, because even not even just speaking from a graphic standpoint, but even the technology and what it could do seems like it was better in the prequels than it did.
I agree, man. I'm excited. I think it would be really cool to. I mean, that's 9 movies. You'd have to clear out a couple days.
It sounds like it's going to sound like a travesty, but what do you think if they actually said, "Hey, we're going to remake these movies. We're going to keep them in there, but we're going to remake them too"?
No, I'm out.
Okay,
I'm out.
Yeah, I understand.
There's
a certain purity you don't.
Are you going to re-record the Beatles' White Album?
The touche. See,
are you going to re-record the Black Side of the Moon? You're not. Or Dark Side of the Moon.
Resync the Titanic.
I was looking at the black hole, and that's why I said that. But it's resync the Titanic. No, you're not going to. So I say hands off the old ones. You know what? They were done with
what they had, and they were still amazing.
They were great for the time.
Even with all the tools and technology we have, I could not go in and replicate something even close.
Yeah, and you just couldn't because you'd have to use different characters. You just couldn't do it, and
the actors were great for their Harrison Ford nailed he's still my favorite character in that whole Han Solo is still my favorite character in the whole franchise.
Yeah, and I have an issue with the Han Solo story, because it was Han Solo, but God, it wasn't.
It's hard. It was such big boots to fill. I knew that they couldn't.
It was tough,
I think it was a good movie for what it was. I think it's better than the critics gave it credit for. Was my standing with it.
Yeah.
Although there were some points where I laughed really hard because like his name origin. Like I'll just say that for the
right.
I was like, okay, I have to admit I definitely was expecting more than that, but it also makes sense. So I didn't fight it, but it was funny.
Well, I agree with you, man. But I don't think he was enough Han Solo-y. Which the character, the guy that played the young Han Solo, he didn't have Harrison's swagger.
What did you think of Lando Calrissian, the Donald Glover who did the young Lando? They're actually looking to make a movie with him, his own movie based on his exploits. What do you think of the young Lando? I guess because we weren't as familiar with Lando from the.
Well, the thing is, though, we're familiar with that character as we know him, right? That actor as we know him. But, excuse me. All right, so I think that it. So your question is, what did you think of him? I thought he did fine. I thought he did great, but Lando wasn't big until later. And so an introduction in that way would be fine, I guess. But we know Harrison, so it's hard to it would be hard to swap the two and ask the same question because it's
night and day in how much exposure they got. Lando was a blip that lasted maybe 10 minutes of screen time with all his stuff together, and Han was there the whole time, basically. Yeah,
I agree. Hey, you know what? I know we were going to do, we have one more ad that we have to play, so let me play this quick ad for you real quick, and we'll be right back, folks. Please visit our sponsors, Geek Missile Podcast, geekmissile.com. We appreciate it. Hang tight.
From the dawn of time, tales have been told of heroes. Heroes like Hercules, who performed 12 tasks in order to make the gods happy and redeem himself. Or Perseus, who defeated Medusa and then defeated a kraken. All of them powered by one thing. And it wasn't love, Aphrodite's. Read a book. No, it was the power of gyros, the delicious Greek foodstuff that powered them to victory. And that power can now be yours through Pizza Pipeline and their Gyros Pizza, available for 20% off online at pizzapipeline.com via the Geek Missile Podcast. Do something heroic today.
Outstanding. I love the guys from the Pipeline. Great food. Best pizza ever. It says so right on their website, guys.
I might grab a slice on the way home. Conveniently, our studio here is set up within proximity to one that's, not out of my way.
3 blocks away.
Yeah, just grab some on my way home.
We could use the app. We could sign up, have the guys bring us a pie, and we can slop that in your ear while we're broadcasting. It's that great. It's that close. But anyway, give those guys a jingle. Folks, you're hungry. You don't have time. You're busy. You're like me. You're like Adam. Just call the guys from the Pipeline. Let them take care of dinner for you. You're going to love it. 20% off when you order online.
Zesty edge crust really does make a difference.
It makes a huge difference, doesn't it?
I throw crust away unabashedly, and I'm not a food waster. I eat everything most of the time, but man, crust is usually just...
We both do, and it shows.
But I toss crust most of the time, but it's pretty damn good.
Yeah. So, have you seen the images of the black hole?
So, yeah, oh my God. So it looks like just a little orange and black. Like, and when I first saw it, I'm like, because I saw memes of it before I actually read the news, which is what was funny about it. I was like, what the hell is this? And then I was like, oh. And even being able to fathomably see a black hole makes me nervous. I'm just kind of like, aren't those the things that just kind of end things?
Isn't that being able to see the bullet coming right towards you?
Right.
Yeah. I know what you mean. But I guess there's a lot of props out for the young lady that created an algorithm that allowed all the telescopes to watch this thing or identify it somehow. And I didn't read in-depthly about it. But to see it, I think that's fantastic. I think that's awesome. They got the article I read talked about the Event Horizon, which has the light to it and all that. And the image that I saw was a 3D. So as they tilted the image around, they were saying that there's these beams that come out of it. There's one that comes out of one side, and then directly the other side, there's another beam coming right out of it. And they tilted this image, and that's how they know, because the way that they're seeing it, they're able to take that image and look through it. It's like layers. What they're seeing is like layers, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that's how they're able to see where this event horizon is, and then the one behind it. So it was really, really interesting. But the one thing I thought was strange, and they didn't really touch too much on, was those beams that are coming out of it. One of them is directly almost pointed towards Earth.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I thought, what does that do? That doesn't sound good.
I hope that it has to... because from what I understand, essentially the event horizon, or the part of a black hole you can see, there's like a time difference in what you can see with it. Like I was trying to remember, but there's like, they've conceptualized it, it's like you're seeing into the past essentially to see this. So I'm like, how far has it come? And what's it going to happen when it hits here? Do we all get a bit of a sunburn? Is it superpowers? Cross my fingers. Like that would be.
That would be awesome.
Like that's the, for me, hopeful situations. What I don't want to think about is, get sucked in like when you flush the water out of your bathtub and just watch it sink down, and we just get to see the tip. We're like, oh boy, here we go.
For those of you keeping score at home, yes, Adam flushes his bathtub, just so you know.
It's got a lever on it and everything.
So if you are hearing this and you are concerned about Adam flushing his bathtub, we should have a Patreon link on our website at geekmissile.com. You can support us by donating and maybe getting Adam a bathtub that doesn't flush.
Hashtag Adam's new bathtub.
That's it. Non-flushable. Yeah, I'm interested, man. I'd like to know more, and I hope those kids that are, putting all this together are just collecting as much data as they can. I do find that interesting, and I like to hear about it and stuff, but,
just a very Star Trek-y, like very just like...
Yeah.
I'm so glad I was born in this particular time period. Like I know people complain about a lot of different things. Like there's no timeline is ideal. Like when you're in it, like everyone,
right?
Like polio existed in like at certain points, like or the Black Plague. Like nobody was. But I'm glad that this particular time that I can pull my phone out, order food, learn anything I want, and also get to see things that I would never have seen in the last 100 years, like this black hole.
Right? Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And think about what we'll know tomorrow.
I'm excited. Every day I'm excited to pop my phone open and see what news is out there.
I know, it's awesome. I think we have had a fantastic show. And I did warn everybody ahead of time that we did have a great show planned for them. And I think we accomplished that. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel like if you came in here thinking that there was going to be a bad show and that we were lying, well, you feel real bad right now.
Haha.
Yeah.
You feel dumb now.
So...
We had an awesome show.
So we won, and looking forward to the next show.
I agree with you. So let's end it on that note. Kids, thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading or streaming whatever you've done to listen to this show. We do appreciate you. And again, thanks for visiting our website, geekmissile.com, and our sponsors. They mean a lot to us as much as you mean a lot to us. So we appreciate that. You guys, have a great night.
Good night.
This has been a Geek Missile production, and it was almost professional. We thank you for listening.